Oh, welcome, my friend Raghu. Namaste, namaste.
Namaste, namaste.
Namaste. How are you doing? How are you, my friend?
Great.
Excellent. Good to see you. Good to see you after a
Thank you.
long time.
Yeah. I'm in Pune, and Pune is locked down at the moment, and it's a great opportunity for me to meet many people through online this event. And thank you so much for hosting this.
Excellent.
Thank you so much.
Excellent. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, Louis. Welcome, Salil. Welcome, Ajay. So, Louis is from Peterborough. Oh, okay. So I hope the weather out there is good, Louis. It's quite warm now in India, and especially in Delhi. How is it in Pune? Pune is probably better than Delhi, right?
Yeah, Pune is cold because yesterday it had rained heavily in Pune. Almost 2-3 days it's been raining in Pune, and so far the climate is very well controlled at the moment.
Excellent.
But unfortunately, really bad for the mangoes.
Yeah, I know, but the rain is much needed here because our hills are burning right now, and we really need few showers to stop the rains. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Raghu is here, Raghunandan Kulkarni, who's the expert on tigers. He has spent a lot of part of his life in the jungles of central India and other places. And he's going to talk to us today about the life of tigers in his favorite domain, that's Kanha, where he spent a lot of meaningful time with the local people, with the tribals there, with the jungles, and the denizens of the jungles. So, friends, welcome Raghunandan, and I'm going to quickly introduce him to you. I'll just do a quick welcome again. Welcome Raju, welcome Thomas, Prasad, Pramodji, Jimmy, Nilangshu, Sanjeev, welcome Shanji, Ravindra, Maheshji, welcome friends. I'm glad you all are here. And these webinars are so beautiful because they just keep your mind away from all that's happening across the world. It's not really required, but while it's happening and we can be glued to our screens to do these virtual journeys, we are so lucky. So quickly, I will introduce you now. Just give me a second. Okay, friends, a quick introduction for Raghunandan Kulkarni. He's from Pune. He has worked with WWF and many Pune-based NGOs and researchers in the field of environmental education and conservation. Started first education-based wildlife travel company in 2000, Wild Ventures from Pune. Today, he left the company and returned to his hometown. Currently founder and owner of India Nature Trails, and working as a consultant naturalist for the Tatastru Resort. His skills and expertise are, he started with wildlife photography in 1995, photos were published in newspapers. You'd have a glimpse when he shows you all those brilliant photos he's taken in magazines and websites as well. And then he was awarded by Pula Deshpande Puraskar in 2008 for educational writing and making people aware about nature and wildlife. Trained many naturalists and guides who are currently working in the same profession. So welcome, Raghu. Welcome to our world of virtual journeys. And I'll quickly introduce myself. I am Mohit Agarwal. I'm blessed with 4 children, a son and a daughter, and 2 non-humans. So one of them is a Labrador and the other one is an escapee African grey. I'm a follower of Shiva. Professionally, I'm an experiential ecotourism specialist with a deep love for nature. I help people travel to some wonderful places in Asia. I'm the founder of Asian Adventures, a 26-year-old travel company. It is the largest and #1 bird watching tour company in India. The company is on a large mission to help Asian elephants with their corridors, free the Himalayas of plastic waste, and help small wildlife NGOs, and also save the ancient Himalayan shrines. My interest is to promote ecotourism, which is a complete science in itself, and also to convert every traveler to an ecotourist. So that's a bit about me, and we've already gone 6 minutes over our start time. So over to you, Raghu, you start, and I'm going to hand over the mic to you now.
Sure. So welcome everyone here, and it's been a long journey of mine. I mean, I've spent a lot of time in Kanha, and I would say from 1999, 1997 was the first time when I went to Kanha National Park with my friends. That time, although I was into wildlife and nature, it gave me an immense pleasure. I mean, more than that, I would say it was very hypnotic. And just a second, I'm just trying to find out where is my presentation. Yeah, here are they. So, okay. So that is how I started my first visit to Kanha, which was in 1997. And that time the roads were so dirty. I mean, so difficult to move from Nagpur to Kanha. It took me around 8 hours, and now this distance can be covered within 4 hours. So you can imagine, entire thing was very raw, very rustic. There were no signs, no boards, nothing was there. And there was, I mean, absolutely difficult to travel because in those days the roads were literally not good. But those were that was the time when I started actually visiting national parks, and Kanha was the most important park for me. I don't know why, but it has a very brilliant landscape, everything, even the smell, the soil, the voices, everything was so hypnotic that it captured my heart, my brain, everything, and that is how my journey started with Kanha. So now I'm showing you a map where you can actually see where it is exactly located. It is in the Madhya Pradesh, that is central India, and very close to Nagpur, very close to Jabalpur. It takes hardly 3 hours right now to travel from Jabalpur to Kanha. Jabalpur is an airport, and even Nagpur is an airport. So from anywhere you can travel easily to Kanha National Park. So accessibly now it is very well accessible. So I believe it's a good sign. Okay, I'm going to the next slide now. This is how it looks. This photo I have taken somewhere in 2003 to 2004 during that time. This was a monsoon, and you can see the entire sal trees are with new leaves. And this place is called Nakti Ghati. Now I'm actually taking you directly in the national park. I don't want to waste much time on the graphics or facts and figures. I'll share those things when it comes. So more my concentration will be towards taking you in the national park straight. So this picture I took somewhere in 2004 when this particular tree, you can see there is a tree right now standing in the middle of the water. The tree is no more. So I can feel that it's so old now. So this is sal tree, and sal tree can remain in the water for more than 100 years. Intact, and before it died. So entire sal tree is a lot. It's a pretty old sal forest. What is the difference in Kanha National Park? Why it is so important, and why it is so easy? Why it is so easy for me to get attracted? That if you travel to Ranthambore, if you travel to Bandhavgarh, if you travel to other national park, it's very easy to spot animals and tigers in jungle. But if you go to Kanha, especially in winters, the forest is so thick that it is not so easy to spot a single animal. You won't believe this. Seeing the Kanha National Park in winter and seeing the same national park in summer, it's totally different. So this photo I took somewhere in the time of December. Okay, you can see that how thick the forest is, and it was the last time of my safari. It was we were returning to the lodge, and it was morning safari, and during that time somebody spotted this tiger. Of course, that time, even there are guides in national park who are excellent with their eyesight. You need to train your eyes. It is not that easy to spot wildlife in the jungle. They are so camouflaged, and these guides are superly trained, and they can spot even a small thing moving in the forest in such thickets. So I still remember That Nayan Singh was the guy who was with me, and he spotted some movement in the jungle, and through binoculars he could see that there is a tiger cub, and he told me that, look Raghu, there is a tiger cub. So I tried my level best to spot it, but unfortunately I couldn't see it for long. And from the 1 hour we were trying to spot it, and in last 10 minutes I could only see some movement, and then I spotted, oh, there is that. And then I took my camera, I put the two converters to it and made it 1200 mm finally, and then I took this photo. That time I was using Canon 10D. Now we have turned to mirrorless cameras. So when I started my photography, that time there was transparencies and camera films. That era I actually started photography. But now we have mirrorless, so you can see the long era has been passed. Okay, now I'm going to the next slide. This is how Kanha looks. Kanha has it's a huge forest. It's almost a 2,000 square kilometer of area, amongst which 900 square kilometer is a core zone, and it has covered. I mean, it is surrounded by 1,000 square kilometer of a buffer zone. So buffer zone is very important for any national park. Why? Because buffer zone creates a gap between urban life and jungle life. That means it acts as a shock absorber. So people are not so easily, they can come in the core zone, even though there are tribes nearby the national park, they cannot put their cows and buffaloes for grazing immediately to the park. There is a buffer zone which acts literally as a shock absorber. Okay, so when you enter in Kanha National Park through Kisli Gate, so now there is a Kisli, Kanha, and Mukhi, three important areas which lies in tourism zone. Okay, now there is a zoning system, but this I'm talking down the line like 10, 15 years back. We were known only with these three zones, Kisli, Kanha, and Mukhi. And right now there is a Sari zone which is added newly. That zone was already there, that area was already there, but it was not open for tourism, but that area was there. Okay, but there were two more zones, Sufkar and Gadhi. So Sufkar and Gadhi used to be the core zone ranges, where we were not allowed to travel those days. Okay. So when you enter from Kisli Gate, what you see is this. Now this photo has a mist, you know. Kanha always used to get rains during February, somewhere during mid of early March. That time Kanha always used to get rain showers. And this is used to be after the rain showers, next morning, this used to be the view. Very foggy, very misty, and because February is a winter time in Kanha again. And if it showers during that time, we used to get a lot of foggy days like this. So this is the start of Kisli. When you start from Kisli Gate, this is what you see. Once you start moving from Kisli to Kanha range, which is the meadows, this is what you get to see early morning in the winter. Okay, Kanha is very, very beautiful national park. I mean, especially during the winter time, you can spend enormous days just watching the play of light. So this is just before approaching meadows. I saw this place, and where there was a golden light, and you can see a layer of mist on the grass, and it looks amazingly beautiful. During June is the time when Kanha starts receiving rain, and I witnessed almost every season in Kanha. So this is what it looks during the June. Now, when you reach meadows, the Kanha forest is in the elevation, different elevation. Kanha forest has different elevation. National Park has different elevation. Like the highest point is known as Bamni Dadar. There used to be the airstrip in those days in Britishers' time. Okay, and below that, then there is a range of Kanha Meadows. Kanha Meadows used to be nothing but this used to be the farming land of people who used to live there in the national park. In older days, Kanha and everywhere, these were the small villages. But later on, these villages were taken out of the national parks. They were provided with the jobs and everything. And now their farmland has converted into a complete grassland meadows. These meadows are most important factor for any tiger reserve. Meadows is like a heart of the national park, you know. So I would say this is like the heart of Kanha National Park, Kanha Meadows. Now we will start our nature trail in the Kanha National Park, the virtual nature trail in Kanha National Park. So when we used to, I was working there as a naturalist as well, and I'll explain you in the short that what was my daily schedule. I used to wake up at 4:30 early morning, and that time there was no advance permits or anything. I mean, if you have been to recently to the national parks, there's a lot of permits and everything. You have to carry advance with your passport, everything. In those days, there was nothing. We used to fill up a form manually, that too, that how many clients are there, how many guests are there, and their passport details and everything. And accordingly, we used to calculate the money, and we used to carry the cash with us. So that entire process used to happen early morning. That means 4 to 4:30. That was the time when I used to do that. After doing that, having tea and coffee and taking guests, and then reaching first and waiting in the queue, and after that, then chatting with my friends and discussing what happens when, where yesterday, what tiger, where they saw the tigers, etc. So there used to be a lot of give and take during that morning session. Okay. Now, when we used to start the safari, I always used to ask my people who are traveling with me or who are with me that what do you wish to see? So of course the first answer was always like, yeah, tiger, tiger. But tiger is important part of the park, but more than what it makes as tiger is like other so many factors of the national park. And whenever we used to travel, I always used to give more, stress and emphasize on showing the small aspects of the nature, the microfauna, which you can say. So this is a beautiful butterfly called spot swordtail, and you can see the sword-like tail, which it makes the movement like this, something like this. So the reason is if the predator, any bird, attacks on this butterfly, it will attack mainly on the moving part of the butterfly, and the tails can be sacrificed and the life can be saved. So butterfly can escape later. So it could be one theory behind this. So this is a beautiful spot swordtail, especially during the winter time. I mean, when the winter is facing out, that is the time when the grass becomes dry. This particular season is a butterfly season for Kanha, and you can see many butterflies during the trail. When you are even driving through the forest roads, you can see there are butterflies flying around you, like along with you. So that's really amazing to see. This season is October to December. This is the time when you see maximum number of butterflies in Kanha. This was a oleander hawk moth. He was my resident moth. For many days he was there in my area where I used to live in Tuli Tiger Resort. That was the place where I started working first in Kanha National Park as a naturalist. So this moth used to be around nearby. So I clicked few pictures. So yeah, it was only for like 2 weeks nearby my place, but I always used to feel like he's my friend now, because every morning I used to wake up, see him, take some photos. During daytime, he was also used to be there. So few days he stayed with me in my area. So and if you see this moth, you know how interesting is that look at its face. I mean, it looks like two big eyes, one nose, and big mustaches. It's looking like an army officer staring at you. So that is how what fascinates you, because you have to give him. I mean, you need to concentrate to the every aspect of nature. So it gives you back a lot of interesting views or aspects. This is another beautiful butterfly called striped tiger. Yeah, the striped tiger is the name of a butterfly because the appearance is, the design is like a tiger. The color, the stripes, it all looks like a tiger. And the plant which the butterfly is sitting, it is Crotolaria. Okay, a very difficult name to pronounce, but again I'll pronounce Cratolaria is the scientific name of this plant, and also known as rattlepod. Why it is called as rattlepod? Because it has seeds which makes the noise along with the wind. The tribes, Baiga is the tribe in the Kanha region. Baiga is the prominent tribe. So these Baiga people used to call Junjuna, very beautiful name, Junjuna. And why this name came? Because Junjuna is the word which is resembling to earrings, or anything like which makes the typical noise when it moves, when it is moving. So they say that this tree is like when wind shakes the tree or the bush, it actually makes some noise. The pods, seed pods, make some noise. So that's the name is given to this junjuna. And you can see that this butterfly is actually scratching the yellow flower, and the proboscis is actually inside the gap, and it is sucking up the sap. Okay, so these are a few interesting factors we always used to see when we used to be on safari. Now, definitely during the winter time, these were the visitors which we used to block the roads. Yeah, of course, they used to make huge, big spider nets between two trees, and we used to clear those trees. If we are standing to see nearby area, then always, I mean, we used to call in a funny way that in winter, if you stand in the jeep and start from Kisli, by the time you reach Kanha Meadows, you become a Spider-Man. And yeah, that was true, because every road you used to see these big spider nets. This is a giant blackwood spider, female blackwood spider, and this beauty you can see during the winter time. So if someone asks me what is the best time to visit the national park, I would say whenever you are ready. The nature is always there to show you its beauty. Let it be summer, let it be winter, let it be monsoon, any season. The only thing is that you need to be very careful with your eyes, with your ears open, with your a scanner open, and don't go in any national park with the pure expectation of tigers. Although I'm going to talk more about tigers today, but my suggestion would be always that don't expect that you're going to see tigers, because otherwise you will miss everything. I have done that before, and this is my experience. I'm not talking to you just today. This is my experience of almost 20 years. So it gives immense pleasure when you start watching small details. That's interesting. Now we go to the birds. Okay, avifauna of Kanha. This is a peacock, or commonly known as peacock, but Indian peafowl is the right name, and it has a beautiful trail of feathers. So if you can make out the season, this is June. This is the first week of June. Why? Because look at the feathers. It has got a long trail of feathers. That peacocks usually receive the feathers, this long trail of feathers, during their mating season, just before their mating season, because they need to attract the females. And how they attract is just they spread the wings, feathers, and they dance in front of them. They try to lure them, so that all instruments they needed for their display, courtship display. So this trail of feathers they receive during the summertime, and it continues till their mating season, and later on they shed their these long feathers, and again you can see them with the very short feathers. Okay, why this is June? Because you can see the green grass as well. Kanha receives its first rain during the end of May, and then the green grass starts emerging. So this male peacock was standing in the middle of the meadows, sitting on a dead wood branch and looking for its mates. Okay, here is a long-tailed shrike, again a very commonly seen bird in the meadows. Why I'm showing these common birds? Because that's what you see when you are waiting for the tigers. And that is how it goes. Whenever we used to travel to the Kanha meadows, that time we used to wait at certain point like Menhat Nala or Fatak Nala, somewhere there, and just to listen to the calls. Those places used to be the crossing points of tigresses. So we used to wait at the crossing points, and we used to see that from where the spotted deers are calling, from where the alarm calls are coming, and accordingly we used to plan our strategy. But when we were waiting, or when we used to wait there for the tiger's call or alarm calls, these were the things we used to observe. And it's very easy to observe these things when you are waiting or when you are listening to the jungle calls. That's again a very interesting and commonly seen bird. That is Pickle's blue flycatcher. And this bird is very easily spotted anywhere. Many places in India you can see this bird very easily. So once we were having our breakfast at Sonder camp, and this bird was very in the vicinity. And while having the breakfast, I took the camera and I took this photo. So Kanha used to have earlier like a lot of breakfast spots. So any camp you just go, you park your car and you can have the breakfast. So there were absolutely no restrictions, no. I mean, right now if you travel Kanha, you'll have to have the breakfast in center area, the central part of the Kanha, which is where there is a museum. But earlier you can do breakfast at whatever the location you want. And we used to have the fantastic breakfast at Bamni Dadar. Bamni Dadar is the highest point, and from there all the Mukhi side and Chhattisgarh side and that part is visible. Balaghat range is visible from that point, and very beautiful place. There we used to have breakfast earlier. Now I'm not sure it's banned to even to visit that area later in nowadays. Changeable hawk eagle or crested hawk eagle. The name is also changing all the time, and you can see the lump of meat in its talons. So in one part of the Kanha National Park, there was a hunt of wild dogs, and when wild dogs finished entire food and their tummies were full, they went into the grass and lied down. And then there was this changeable, rather crested hawk eagle, drongo, tree pie, almost 10, 15 species of birds. They were feasting on whatever were remaining there. So in the jungle, what happens is when anything get killed, within few days, everything is just finished. It is back to normal now. So there's no trace of anything. So jungle is like, if you look at it philosophically, it is like it grows there and it ends there. So it is the land where it grows and it is the land where it ends. So it's a cycle of life which you can learn in any national park. Okay, that's a beautiful bird called golden fronted leaf bird, and the tree is known as flame of the forest. In Sanskrit, this tree is called Kinishuka. It's a question mark actually. Kinishuka. That means, is it a parakeet? Because the beak of a parakeet looks exactly like a flower of this tree. So that's the name in Sanskrit. This local name, vernacular names are very interesting. If you start learning from the tribes what they call to these trees or to animals, they give you immense knowledge about their behavior, right? So I'm coming close to that because when I was a part of this Tuli Tiger Resort, at many times we used to interact with locals there. That means I used to visit nearby villages because we used to have a lot of staff from the nearby area, and those staff they used to invite us to their villages. So at night, many times I used to travel their villages and talk with the villagers, talk with Baiga people, tribals. Some Mahouts were from the tribes. Like there was there was a Mahout who Jam Singh. He's no more now. So he used to talk everything about what during his young age was the national park, and he used to tell us a lot more stories. So I'm going to contribute some little things, and later on also we can discuss this. Okay, that's a blue jay or Indian roller on the blue background. So yes, it has a fantastic population of blue jays in Kanha, and they don't fly. What happens is if you even go close, they don't fly. I always used to feel that I can literally touch them that close. They allow you to come. Peacock dancing, spreading its wing and dancing for the females. That's the courtship. It happens, and this is a typical season of May. So if you see some documentaries on the national on some television or anything, especially the oldest documentary on Kanha and Ranthambore was Land of the Tiger, National Geographic Land of the Tiger. So if you see that film, at the background there is a continuous peacock is calling meow meow. This continuous sound you can hear. So summer is the time when they don't sleep, I would say. Yeah, even at the night time, sometimes I used to hear these calls. Early morning around 3:30, 4 o'clock, they used to start with these calls somewhere deep in the jungle. Yeah, but the calls you can hear. Yeah, so the peacock calls are always there especially during the winter time, even though there's no mating season, they used to call all the time in the winter as well. That's a serpent eagle, crested serpent eagle, amongst the very commonly seen raptors from Kanha National Park. And he was doing something on the meadows, and he found some kill on the meadows, and he tried to jump and dive and pick it up, and now but he couldn't catch it, it seems, because you can see the talons are empty, and then he went again on his normal perch. Now, when I say normal perch, we were like very close to these animals those days. Like we were knowing, like, okay, this tree is of serpent eagle tree. It always come during this time and sits on this tree. Yeah, every bird and every animal, I mean, sorts of their perches, their dwelling area, their roaming area was like fixed, and that only you can understand if you keep going to the park on the regular basis, like day to day. So my schedule when I was working as a naturalist was like 3 months. I used to travel every day to the national park. Like October, November, December, January used to be always dull, and then February, March. These 5 months, we always used to go to the park, like morning and evening, morning and evening, morning and evening. So our relation to the wildlife was very close. Our interaction was very close. We were almost like talking to the animals. Like we used to see a pair, like and we used to miss them. If that serpent eagle we couldn't if we couldn't see that eagle on that particular tree, we used to talk among ourselves. Hey, today there is that specific eagle is not there. What happened? Probably might have gone for maybe hunting. But then on the coming or going path, we somewhere used to catch it. That's a painted francolin. As I've said that these calls, it is vocal before the rainy season. This bird is quite vocal, and again in the winter also, this bird is very vocal. It sits somewhere on the highest point in its territory and make the call, and the call is something like click, 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 click. That kind of a call it is, quite loud. And these calls, so jungle is not just seeing the things, but also to listening, and it all you have to experience the jungle with all your senses. That is how I believe that one should learn the jungle or experience the jungle. The jungle smells are amazing. What you see is amazing. What you hear is amazing. And if you could really get a time and explore the jungle on foot, you might also can test some berries and fruits. Anyways, that's really a difficult bird to spot for many birders. It is a juvenile of a white-eyed buzzard. The eye is now turning to be white. So I struggled a lot to identify this bird. So of course, although I like photography, I won't call myself a photographer. That means I do photography, but I don't do only photography. Observing wildlife is my hobby, and explaining it through whatever I learned is what I like, because I try to catch everything what I notice, and then try to convert it in layman's language and try to explain it to people. So this was a very difficult bird, and that's the reason why this photo is there. That any jungle gives you the opportunity to learn many things, and birds and animals, they behave very differently in different national parks. Yeah, that's true. I mean, some birds may not behave exactly the same the way they are behaving in Tadoba National Park. They might behave differently in Kanha National Park. For example, the simple bird Ayora, it makes a very beautiful whistle. The whistle is like, so that's a whistle of Ayora. Now this is a very common whistle, but these whistles have a lot of modulations. If you travel south, if you travel north, the same Ayora, he whistles different. It whistles differently. So this is how it happens. Okay, that's what I said, that they don't move. So in Kanha meadows, there used to be some area which was fenced. And now also there are some fences just to protect some grasslands. And In the grasslands, they have one Barasinga enclosure where they used to keep Barasingas. I'm coming to that point, what enclosures were these. But these rollers have a habit to sit on these posts, and you can go really, really close, but they don't fly. Look, I was about to almost touch my camera to this bird, but it didn't fly. But I love them. I mean, they're so amazing. And you know what? Their call is very interesting. You know, so the call is like if you ask someone that have you had a breakfast, and then it just replied no. Yeah, the call is exactly like that. That's it. So very beautiful bird, and what they do is they sit on the stump and they try to find the crickets or small insects in the ground on the ground, and when they see it, they just jump on it. Literally, they jump on it and they grab it. They try to eat it there, and then they fly. Or if they have the nest, they carry it to the nest. But when they fly, their wings, the action is like a rolling, and they look beautiful when they fly. That's a small bird of prey called shikra. Very easily spot. I mean, you can spot it anywhere in India. But yeah, when it's in the jungle, you can see it with the kill as well. So a beautiful shikra. That's a female. Males are with a red color, red iris.
Raghu, yes? You have 30 minutes.
Oh, okay. I'm running slightly slow, but I'll cover it up.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so that's a langur, amazing, another place where I could get a good photo of it. Okay, and why these langurs are important, because it's the jungle is about the communication. This is the tendu tree. The langur sits on the top. They eat something, they drop it down, and then the deers, they come there and they get to eat the fresh tree leaves. Here, the deers are getting benefited, but langurs are there just enjoying their routine life. Okay. Kanha has deer species. One of the mostly common seen deer is spotted deer, and you can see the velvet on its horn. This is also the winter shot. During the winter time, they get velvet on their horn, and they look brilliant. And you can see the color code. This deer has, did some bites on its own body, so you can see some scratches on the coat. Okay, this is how it looks during the June when the fur is off and they have a woody like a feel on their antlers, on their horns. This is a Barasinga. Kanha is also known for its Barasinga species called hard ground Barasinga. This species you can see only in Kanha National Park, hard ground Barasinga. Bara is 12 and Singa means horns. So it has 6 tines on each side of the horn, so it has totally 12 tines on its horn, and that is how it is called Bara. That means 12, Barasinga. And hard ground Barasinga you can see only and only in Kanha National Park. Servus duacelli branderi. So branderi name actually came from a person who spotted this species for the first time. The British person who was here in the forest department and who spotted this for the first time. I'm not going deep in the history, but you can find it on the internet. Okay, they love to spend some time in water, and they eat water hyacinth. Water plants, planktons. That's what they love to eat. I mean, this is typically when young kids, they eat noodles. These Barasinga, they look exactly like that when they pluck it up and they start eating it. Okay, this is how they look during the winter season. They have a lot of fur on their horns. Sorry, in the June when they get the first coat of their when they get the fresh new horns. Okay, I'm moving a bit forward. Okay, this is a very tiny deer called barking deer. It's important that if you hear the noise of the alarm call of a barking deer, that means there is something dangerous. There is some predator nearby. And just because of its alarm call, it looks exactly like a barking. So that's the reason why it is called as a barking deer. Mudjak is also another name of this beautiful deer. Quite shy in nature. You can't spot it so easily like spotted deer. Pretty shy. Okay, now I'm showing you the herbivoras of Kanha first, and then we are coming to the tigers. This is the massive boar, weighs up to 1,000 kilos. and mainly feeds on grasses, and they browse and graze both. They have long tongues. They pull out fresh leaves from the trees, and also the graze. So many. I mean, this all is a diet. I mean, menu card of the tiger. What I'm showing you is a menu card of the tiger. Tiger feeds on gore also. In Kanha and Mukhi range, there were few tigers. They used to specifically feed on gores. Now we are coming to some small carnivorous animals. This is a jackal, carnivore animal, which can be seen in many parts of Kanha, especially in the open areas, in the meadow areas. It's very when you enter the Kanha from Kisli area, you get to see the first Kisli meadows. That's the first time when you see these jackals. Okay, just after that, when you reach meadows, again there are many places you can see these jackals. So they love the grassland areas more. This was a very interesting sight I had. The photo is not very clear. This is an old photo of mine. You can see that spotted deer female is chasing the jackal. Yeah, because the jackal was behind its fawn, and she realized that the jackal could be danger to her fawn, and she completely chased this jackal away. And you can see that the tail is up, and other spotted deers are also, they were giving the alarm, because initially we thought something, some tiger or leopard may be there. But when we came there and when we saw this very interesting behavior, that the deer is chasing away the jackal. Sloth bears, Kanha is not really known for sloth bears, but yes, it has a good population of sloth bears. As I've said, that the forest is huge and very thick, so you cannot really reach to all the parts of the park. So it's very difficult for others also. I mean, to spot the sloth bears. During summer, they are very much visible. There was a time when there used to be 3 sloth bears in the meadows. They used to come every evening and try to find some food in the meadows. And we used to talk like, it's a sloth bear time now. Let's go and check them. And somewhere nearby the meadows, Pafafat and all that area, we used to find these 3 sloth bears, like maybe mother and 2 cubs or something like that. So one of the very beautiful photo of mine in Kanha, because otherwise their eyes are not so visible. Wild boar, yes, it's very commonly seen. Wild boar in the national park, outside the national park, in our lodges, they used to come every night to feed. So yeah, they are a part of the park and very important tiger food as well. And I've noticed one more thing, that each part of Kanha, like the tigers of Kisli, they used to hunt more wild boars, porcupines, these kind of animals. In the meadows area, the tigers used to hunt sambar deer or spotted deer, like this. In Mukhi area, tigers were mainly feeding on gore, sambar, like this. If you go to Bamni Dadar area, there were tigers who used to feed on nilgais. So every location, it all depends. I mean, it teaches you that what population is more in which area. Mongoose, very commonly seen animal, but very, shy in nature. Jungle cat. Okay, now we are coming close to the cats. Meadows was always a place where we used to see these cats, jungle cats. Very shy in nature, very elusive, and it's very difficult. It used to be very difficult to get any photos of the jungle cat in Kanha. But somehow this cat was very patient, and she gives a good pose, and I could get some good photos. She was still there. Okay, now I'm coming to the tigers, the main part of us. What I learned when I was there in the park as a naturalist is understanding the geography of the park is very important when you need to track the tiger, if you need to track the tiger. Okay, learning the network of road is very important. I mean, both the ways, like learning as a naturalist from where, how, in what time you can reach where, how it happens, what type of road network is reaching you to which location, etc., etc. Now, more than that, I used to particularly write down every sighting with the timing. That okay, this time I found this tiger over here. and the movement was towards this, what it was doing. So I still have those old diaries of mine. I've kept it, like all the records are there of tigers, that what I saw and how I saw it. Okay. Learning and observing daily schedule of the tiger. Yes, tigers used to have their schedules. Like, for example, I am coming to that this particular topic with some more slides, and learning new rules and finding the new ways. Now, this is very interesting. Learning new rules means every year forest department used to come with some new different rules, and as a naturalist, we first need to understand what rules are, and then accordingly we used to design our all safari plan. For example, there was a new rule when I was working there. Suddenly the rule came that you cannot reverse the car in meadows area. You have to go forward only, you cannot reverse. So, for example, that is how we used to plan. That okay, we can't come reverse, so we have to take an entire circle to come again to this spot. So, how we plan it? So, this entire plan used to work if we know the movement of the tiger. Now, I'm coming to the main topic of our today's thing is tigers. Okay, in Kanha, of course, there was you can see tigers through jeep. So jeep, watching tigers from the jeep is right now is the only option. But before that, you were also allowed to see the tiger from elephant back. Right now, this option is not available in the park. I think till 2012 to 2011, this option was there, and people used to go on elephant back to see the tiger. And well, there were many, controversies with this type of tiger viewing. Anyways, I would say that there were few good things, few bad things. Let's talk about the good thing. Why this was very fascinating, because when you are in the jeep, you can only go through certain tracks or certain areas. You cannot fly in the jungle. You cannot move in the jungle. You cannot walk inside the forest. Okay, but when you are on the elephant back, you can actually go deep inside in the jungle, and you can get the chance to see what tiger is doing when they are not in the vicinity of the roads. Because when tiger is in the vicinity of the road, they are aware that you are there. But when they're inside, probably they're doing something of their own, and you get to see some interesting facts, which I did actually. So this used to happen in the meadows area at certain times. Certain tigers used to cross, and we all used to wait there for the tigers, and later on the tiger is crossing the road. So meadows used to be known for this type of sightings, and you can see the excitement in people. And the tiger is crossing the road. Sometimes, if you're alone in the jeep, you get to see some sightings like this. And let me tell you very honestly. I mean, this is my personal opinion. I don't want to tell that this is everyone's opinion. This should be everyone's opinion. I personally find that tigers do not afraid of jeeps. It becomes their part and parcel of their life. Like you see the normal things happening in and around you, tigers consider the entire vehicle just like that. So they don't really bother even if you're driving backwards in front of them. I've seen at the longest distance I've traveled with the tiger was 3 kilometers, 3 to 4 kilometers. And the tiger was Onda, a very famous tiger from the time of 2000 to 2000. I think 6 or 7 till 2007, Konda was there in Kanha. And later on, I don't know what happened to him. But he used to walk in front of jeeps. He was absolutely never bothered about jeeps or elephants or people. He was very comfortable and very, very amazing tiger he was. So this photo is not taken from the digital camera. This is the transparency, and this photo I took in Mukhi area. This was not even in the park. This was outside the park, where right now there is a Taj Forest Lodge, Taj Safari Lodge. In those days, there was no Safari Lodge. There was just a Banjar River, and that part where the lodge is right now was a part of Tigers area. And there were two brothers, and one of them were sitting on a high mount, and I was on the elephant back. And when I came there, it was looking at us from the high elevation. So this is a very old photo of mine. I think I clicked this in 1999. So that old it is. Again, this was the photo from 2002, and the story was me and one of my friend Tirath. Tirath was my driver that time. I still remember. He's in Mukhi area. He's still there in Mukhi area. We were close to somewhere in Mahavir area, and in Mahavir area we were waiting for a male tiger to appear on or to hear some alarm calls, etc. And our car was parked, and hardly there was only one Australian lady was with me, and me and Kirat, we were talking that why the tiger is not here. He was telling me that the tiger should be here. The tiger must be here in this area because this is the habit of the tiger to reach in at this time in this location somewhere. And we were discussing this, and we could hear a small growl, like a growling sound, very close from the nearby. And we were trying to see where it is. And you won't believe the tiger was sitting literally 10 feet away from my jeep in the bushes somewhere. We couldn't see it. We were there for 10-15 minutes. We were there. We were talking. We were chatting. And we were talking about the same tiger. Probably it was listening to us what we were talking. And then we kept quiet. Nothing was there. And then suddenly we could hear this. And he was just there and showing us like, hey, look, I'm here now. Take a photo now. Yeah. So this was the photo I took when we were trying to move away. Like we were, oh my God, we were too close unknowingly to the tiger, and we were moving out. And that time I just got one snap, one quick shot of this male tiger. He was known as Kabra or something. Okay, this was only possible during those days that this tigress, we used to call her double Y Dilwali. Dil means heart, and she used to have the heart-shaped signs on her backside. So this tigress during the summer time, they used to sit in these culverts, under the culverts in the pipeline for getting it, for cooling them. So again, this photo I got when I was traveling from Mukhi area to Kisli area. We ended our safari in Mukhi, and while going to Kisli, there used to be a small bridge, and somebody told us that while going, you must check all the time this bridge. And this was our habit. Each time when we were traveling, we used to go a little bit down and check these bridges. So in one of the bridges, it was like a lottery. I suddenly found it, and she was very calm, quiet. We took some photos and then we left. Okay, now I'm coming to the year 2004. So this was my most favorite tigress. When I was there, I know that it's not, you can't really get emotional because it's wildlife. You cannot say that you cannot personalize or personalize them, But this tigress was the tigress which used to give a lot of sightings, and somehow the tuning was there. That means I used to understand that okay, now she will go here, and I used to find her at every time in certain locations. So I had given her the name Fiona. And because on the left side of the eye, above the left side of the eye, you can see the horizontal F sign, which will be in next slide. It will be visible. Now you can see clearly the F sign. I'll try to use the pen if I can. I'm not sure, but here is the sign. Okay. Here also you can see that F mark, and this photo I took again from the elephant, but that time elephant was in the nala, and the tigress was sitting above the nala, and she had killed something and she was eating it. Okay, now that's the reason I could get this angle. Otherwise, getting this angle is highly impossible. Okay, now this tigress had 3 cubs during that time. And many people say that tiger hunts, like when it hunts for 20-30 times, it gets success in once, etc., etc. But I would say she was very, very excellent hunter. She was not a huge tigress. She was like a medium-sized tigress, but excellent hunter. Her spots were so defined. Her hunting style was so defined that each time she used to get 1 deer. Because that time she had 3 cubs, and surviving, giving food, raising 3 cubs is of course difficult. But she successfully could do that because each day, when I used to visit, we used to hear that, okay, Suna Paniwali also was her name. Suna Paniwali had killed certain cubs, certain deer or certain things in certain area. So this was a regular news. This was not something after 3 days, 4 days. Almost every day we used to hear it, that here it had killed or there it had killed, etc. So this was a fresh kill. I mean, I couldn't see the kill, but I heard that there was a kill. I heard the kill. I heard the noises. I heard the sound, and then we tracked. And from the elephant back, I got the chance to witness this. And you can see that it's a very, very fresh kill, and she just has started eating it. You can also see the fresh wound marks on the neck of the deer. That is the place where they grab the deer and they suffocate the deer, and then the deer dies. Okay, and she has just started eating it. Usually, when she had cubs, she used to eat, and then remaining stuff she used to take to her cubs. Okay, now she's taking that remaining of the kill to her cubs. She had 3 cubs at that time, and that was the area. Is if you know, if you had been to Kanha, then Bison Road and Sunapani Road is the area. Is the junction where she always used to be. I mean, in that region. After her food, after whatever she had, her dinner or a meal, she used to yawn and sleep in that area only. That is how she used to look. Very brilliant, very beautiful tigress. When I took this photo, that time there were 3 cubs on the opposite side. I mean, the tigress was sitting on one side of the road, and we were in the middle, and the cubs were behind us. And there were 3 cubs, and she was chilled out. Like, she was absolutely, no, you are there. I have no problem. You can stay there. I will call cubs. They will come here. Then you take a photos of my cubs, etc. So she literally called them, even though we were there, and 3 cubs came on the road. So this was the first cub who came on the road, and just after that, all of them, they came on the road. And not only they came, they sat down in front of us. Literally, they sat down in front of us for almost like 10-15 minutes. And later on, they moved to the mother. So it all depends on how calm and quietly you observe the things in nature. Not necessarily that each time you get you are alone there when such sightings happens. But this time we were literally alone. No one was there, and Tigers gave us a very good time and good chance to take the photos. So after that, when they went back to close to the mother, they were sitting like within a different poses. Like, this cub was sitting like enjoying his pose with that wooden log. And whenever she used to go for hunting, she used to keep these cubs in the hidden area, like this. This is the area you can see that 2 cubs are hidden, and one was with the log, and this one was without the log. He was also sitting there, and these 3 are there were 3 cubs. 3 of them were the females, but later on, what happens when they grow? During the tranquilization process, 2 of them died and one got killed. So literally don't know what happened again next to these cubs. But this was the location. She used to hide them and tell them that, look, guys, you have to stay here. By the time I bring the food, you don't move from this place. And like an obedient cub, they never used to move from that place. And this place was very much close to the road. So we could easily see them from the road itself. And they were sitting in the thickets and looking at us from the thickets, like, okay, which car is there? Okay, this car is gone. Next, which is the another car, like that. Okay, next to that Fiona, there was another tigress. She was known as Lakshmi. Okay, Lakshmi or Sundari. I don't know the exact name, but because it's quite long time back. But yeah, this tigress was there, and she was very again successful with her hunting. And this was during the afternoon safari. I could see her coming close to the deer. Now in the foreground, you can see there is a deer, and this tigress is trying to attack the deer. Very interestingly, that day what happened, she was aware that my vehicle is there, and she pushed that deer against my vehicle, and the deer came straight to the vehicle. It was about to bang, but it was amazingly, she took amazing turn from there and she killed that deer. This was the next photo, literally. And you can see her angle. She's almost tilted to the ground, but she could easily grab that deer. And probably she took help of my vehicle as an obstacle, and she could kill that deer. So I have observed this thing very carefully, that tigers take advantage of the elephants or sometimes even of the cars. While stalking to their prey, they sometimes hide behind the elephants. So it had happened many times that tiger is taking advantages of cars and elephants while hunting. So this was the tigress. This was at 9 number Link Road, nearby 9 number Link Road. She was sitting on a nice rocky patch. When she had cubs, those cubs she used to hide at Shellerhide. Shellerhide is the location named after a famous researcher, George Scheller, who was in Kanha for a long time, and he wrote the book The Tiger and the Deer, about the behaviors of Kanha National Park, about the behavior of tigers in Kanha National Park. So that is the place where she used to hide these cubs. And as I've mentioned in my early points, some bullet points, that you need to understand the geography. So when there was a chance to see these cubs, we had to plan it well in advance. Like, for example, if I want to travel to the meadows, I have to be first in my car. So because then I can go straight to the meadows. There's nothing, no obstacles, anything what comes in between, I won't stop. I'll straight go there, because early morning was the only time when these cubs used to be visible. Once the vehicle used to come there, the cubs used to go inside, and the whole day you couldn't see them. So that was the only trick to find these cubs. That is how we used to learn. Like, okay, if you want to do this, then this is the way to find out, or this is the way you have to practice. Okay, so when these cubs grown up, okay, this is the time when they were like 8 months old, and this was somewhere nearby the Kanha Museum, right now where the Kanha Museum is. So this photo is taken somewhere there. So she used to bring them later on to that area as well. These are the two cubs. This photo I have taken from the elephant back, and you can see that like two cats, when they meet, they try to do some interaction. So these two cubs, they're interacting by touching their nose to each other. And this is a very cute photo I got during the winter time. This was during the midday, and in the winter when everything is very cold, the stones get hotter early than the other part. And then this tiger was hugging this, literally, it was hugging the stone. It is still a cub. You can see with the face and the fur, you can make out it's still a cub. It's the same cub of the same female which you saw just now. Okay, now it is grown up. Now this is something 9 to 10 months old cub. And they have a habit. They used to always come in the open and used to play between these rocks. So whenever there used to be a tiger show, we used to be aware that, okay, the tiger show is going to be nearby these rocks. If you can see on the right, the red spots, that is the malotis, the sindoor tree, the kumkum tree. The Indian women, after their marriage, they wear this in their hairline, on their forehead as a kumkum. So there are these malotis trees all over in the Kanha National Park, but you can recognize them only when these seeds, or when these seeds cover are yellow there, red there. And this is the beautiful young male tiger who was sitting in the nearby of this tree. And again, some shots you can get from the elephant back during older time, but now it is not possible to even imagine this kind of sightings. As I've said, they used to love playing on these rocks. Okay, this is again a beautiful, now we are talking about different tigress. This tigress was in Kanha. I saw her mainly from 2007 till 2011. She was there, and her area used to be link number 7, and Kanha Meadows, some part of Kanha Meadows. So in those days, what I noticed is Meadows was like a main ground in the center, ground for center in the central area, and the hills and the forest area, which was surrounded to these meadows, all the tigers were occupying some or the other area of the forest. And whenever they want to hunt, they want to kill, they used to come to the meadows, kill, eat, sleep for a while, and they used to return back to their own part of the surrounding area. But this tigress mainly was occupying the part of the park which was not really connected to the meadows. But she used to come till the meadows. But very beautiful tigress. When I clicked this photo, just 2 days before, she had killed a charakatar. Charakatar means a caretaker of the elephant. So that he had gone in the jungle to find the elephant where it had gone, and that time elephant had gone really far away. The elephant was in the territory of this tigress, and the tigress had given birth to young ones. And the grass was tall, and Charakatar couldn't see this tigress, and she attacked. And she attacked only to save, as a defensive mechanism and or as a defense. She was protecting her cubs, so that's the reason she attacked. Otherwise, she is a very, very calm and quiet tigress. Because when I clicked this photo, that guide was telling me, "Sir, yesterday she killed the charakatar." I said, "Fine, I know that. So don't go close." I said, "Yeah, I'm not going close." So we were at certain distance and we were taking photos. But this tigress was so calm and quiet. She went very close by the jeep and she went in the jungle. She didn't even look at us. So this was the only time when she was trying to scratch and poo. That time I got this photo. She was actually making a territory, pooing and then scratching the grass. This is the tigress, and she used to have a radio collar. Now the radio collar is not really visible, but if you see her face, just below the face, there is a small piece of wire is visible. Now, all these are the tigress. These tigress were at the same time from 2004 to 2006 or 2008. This was the time when all these tigress were there. Now, this particular tigress used to be in the Kisli area. This tigress was more into thick area of the forest. She never used to. There were meadows. There are meadows in Kisli area also, but not like expanse like Kanha meadows. There are certain small pockets of meadows. But she was mainly staying in the hilly region and hilly mountain, and her territory was huge. What I observed was the tigress, which used to live in meadows area, used to have comparatively smaller territories. The reason is, in the meadows, the food was in abundance. It was easy to access the deers because of the grasslands. All the deers used to be in the grassland, so it was easy for them to hunt the deers. But for the tigress, which are not in the meadows, in the deep jungle, for them it is difficult to kill the sambar deer or maybe even a gaur or maybe even bigger game. So their territory happened to be quite larger. So this tigress used to have a huge territory in the Kisli zone, and the area is known as Indri, Narwar Khero, Chimta Camp. That is the area where she was more visible. Now, if you see this photo, you will realize that she is looking somewhere in the upwards direction. So she was actually looking at her cub. Yeah, this was the most notorious cub I have ever seen in the tigers. Whatever the cubs I have so far experienced, very notorious cub. During one of my safari, this cub actually came very close to the jeep as a curiosity what it is, and we had to return back. Because it had absolutely no fear of whatever it is. So it had, it had climbed that time on the tree, and even his brother was also there. So he had also climbed on the tree, and both were there trying to do some experiments, new things, learning things on the tree. They were biting the twigs, they were biting the leaves, and trying to scratch on the tree and trying to see the highest, how they can reach the highest point. But when they realized they cannot, the weight is too much for them to balance, they used to come down. So this cub was on the tree and the tigress was sitting below. So this was one of the fantastic sighting, and we could see this for more, like half an hour. The entire activity was going half an hour, and I now I can feel that the technology is so advanced right now. You can actually take videos, you can do lot many things. In those days, I was using a small digital camera which was having only one card of 24 MB. Yeah, now this sounds really funny. 24 MB used to be my one card, and since I was a naturalist, I was not doing photography for myself. So these photos I took only when, I mean, it was easy for me when the guests were like doing some their photography work. I took some or literally few shots. Otherwise, I would have got some fantastic images and collection of tigers. But again, that time my focus was, as a naturalist, my focus was to serve people, to tell them about jungle, to give them more experience about the jungle, not doing my own photography. So whatever you are seeing is just what I could grab during those few moments. Okay, this was again the Chimta camp tigress, the same tigress. She used to teach cubs, okay, guys, I'm going for a hunt. You stay here, don't move. And they used to sit. You can see the another cub behind. And literally, they were like a clever boy or the obedient boy. They used to sit for like many hours. And then mother used to come. She used to make a noise, and that noise is something like ah, not the regular tiger growl. Have you heard the regular tiger growl? The regular tiger growl is something like ow, ow. So that's the normal tiger call. But when they need to, when they want to call the cubs, they generally call with some very subdued noise. It's like wah, wah, something like that. Okay, this was the notorious cub. I told you that it had come really close to the jeep and sat next to us. And the another cub was looking at us from the bushes. Oh, this is something very new shape, new people, what they are doing, what they want. So so this cub, so amongst two cubs, one used to come really close, and one used to see us from the distance, from the hidden area, from that small window, used to pop up like, okay, I'm here. Can you see me? I can see you, like that. And yeah, I mean, every cub, every set of cubs used to have very amazing pattern of behaviors. This is a very interesting photo, and I am really glad to present this photo to you today because this photo I had taken in 2005. Okay, the young cub, a young tigress or young cub. Okay, and she is now T2 in Panna. This tigress is still surviving, and she's in Panna, the name called T2. And she, in 2005, she was cub from the Kanha. So you can imagine, I mean, I'm so glad to see this when I came to know that she's the one T2. And when I posted this photo in some group and somebody could identify it because, I mean, someone is doing the literally identification marking thing with the tigers. They told me that, look, this is from, and we matched the markings, and yes, she's the T2. So it was really amazing to see her when she was cub, and I witnessed her playing in the jungle, and now she's in the Panna. And yeah, I had seen T2 but couldn't get the photo. But yes, she's still alive. This was beautiful tigress in Mukhi area. She was lying down once, and in Mahavir area. She, in those days, she was having 4 cubs. And early morning, the cubs were playing around, and she was just lying very calm and quiet. And again, as I've said, this photo I've taken from the elephant tank. Even though the elephant was in the vicinity, she was not bothered of us. She was sitting. And what I like about this photo is the only single ray of light was sun was falling on her eye, and this body was in the shade, and her eye was blinking. And it is so amazing to observe the entire thing. I mean, sometimes I used to drop my camera and take the binocular and used to observe how they look, how their texture look, how their eyes look, how their nose look. It's really beautiful. This animal is entirely just a miracle. Sometimes she used to just wake up and check on their cubs, like, are they doing well? Are they okay? Are they fine? And then used to go to the sleep again. That's an interesting story with this tigress. Now, what happened? We were on the tiger show long back. This was again 2005, and in the Kisli area, and this was an accidental, sighting. We were not looking for this tigress. The elephant was just passing through the nalas and trying to see the tiger, because tiger was there, and then it had moved somewhere. And the Mahout, Sabir was the Mahout, very famous and old Mahout of Kanha. He's retired now. He was riding the elephant. It was again the like summer, peak summer, like end of May or something. And that time there were only 2 tourists in the entire area. So and in those days the rules were not like very crazy. So the elephants were standing on in between the road, and our jeep came up there, and the Sabir, the Mahout, asked me that, hey Raghu, want to come and see the tiger? Is a male tiger nearby here? I said, yeah, no problem. So we jumped on the elephant, and then we started moving. And there was another small elephant also. So 2 elephants were there. So we started moving towards this wherever the tiger was, and we went there. There was absolutely no sign of the tiger. This was like 8:30 in the morning, very early in the morning it was. So when there was no tiger, Sabir said that Mahout said that I will try to check in the nearby area. Let's go and try to search in this area, because there might be some vehicles will come, and if I can see the tiger, I might show them. I said fine. We were searching that area, and suddenly we could hear the growl, literally a growl, aggressive growl. And in that area, there was something. We couldn't see it first. We searched a bit, and I mean, before I could guess what Sabir told me immediately that this is a tigress. This is some tigress over here. Then we got the pug marks. We tracked her, and we could see her. She was somewhere in the deep in the bushes, and she could see her, but it was very difficult for us to spot her. But whatever I could get through the thick of the forest, thick of the bamboos, I got this one shot. She was absolutely unhappy because of our presence over there. And then Sabir told me it is not because of us, but she's not happy with the new male which has come in the territory. And this was the male we were also searching. And the male is somewhere in the territory, and she's right now nervous because of this male. At the same time, we are also here. That's the reason now she's growling. So let's go back, and we turn ourselves. Okay, now I'm going to talk about some beautiful males of Kanha. So just now we saw the females during that time, like 2004 to 2008, that time. Now we'll talk about some male tigers of Kanha. So he was the most amazing male tiger called Angel Boy. I used to call him Angel Boy, because if you see on its right hand side, the marking was looking like a priest wearing the robe with 2 spread arms like this and upside down. So that's the reason why I used to call Angel Boy. This was one of the beautiful photo of Angel Boy in Kanha zone in Salgad Road. Now, as I've said that I used to note down their movement, and I used to note down all the sightings. I learned that this particular tiger during the December time, every morning it climbs Salgad. I still remember that time I was in Tuli, and I was guiding Stephen Mills' group. Stephen Mills, the person who wrote the book Tigers for BBC. Okay, I was guiding that group, and all people were from Holland. Dutch group was that. And morning only, I mean, before we start our safari, at night only, I had given them, I mean, not the promise, but kind of a feeling that tomorrow at 7:30, I am going to show you this particular tiger. Yeah, I had a photo of her, this particular tiger. So for any know-how or any tourist, it becomes very cheesy, or it becomes quite, how this is possible? This is a jungle, and you are saying that this is possible. But yeah, I mean, I was young. I was 24 that time, and I was also quite young doing experiments. So I told them that to look, tomorrow I'm going to show you this particular tiger at this time, and you won't believe it turned out to be miraculously true. I know which path he generally takes. It takes, and I went from the other path, and I went to that location, and we were waiting, and exactly at 7:30 in the morning, this tiger appeared in front of us. And this was the photo when he just came from his right side. There was a path, jungle path, and it came from that, and it stood in front of us in that spotlight like an actor. Like, look, I'm here. I'm here to give you my show. And he was there, and I clicked some photos, and then it walked for a while. And yeah, it was a beautiful tiger. Angel Boy, I used to call him. This was the next photo of him. He was walking on that road, and you can make out the Salgat. Salgat has a very white color sand because of the limestone content in it. This was the Angel Boy, beautiful Angel Boy. He was marking its territory in one of the sightings. Okay, now just to tell you that I don't think so that this kind of an image is now possible to get, because this is a very rare image of this Angel Boy, and this was his regular Nala crossing point. I used to call this area as a Nala crossing point. All the time, all the Mahouts used to tell me that, okay, this tiger crosses the Nala from this point, and he never crosses through the water. There is a tree fallen over this Nala, and this particular tiger crosses this tree every time. So it's his habit. It loves to cross this tree. Sometimes it sits down on this bridge, wooden bridge, natural bridge. Yeah? So once I got the chance when I was tracking this tiger, and again I was sitting on the elephant back, and I could see, you can see the angle is completely. I am at the top elevation, and this tiger is crossing that tiger bridge, wooden bridge, and this tiger crossed the bridge and came straight to us, passes very close from the elephant, and very calm and quiet. Look, it is not even looking at us. Although the big animal, the elephant, the big animal is standing very close to this place, but he was absolutely carefree, and he crossed his road and came back. So when this sighting happened, I still remember, it was not because only for this reason we were there. We were there because of this. This tiger had killed the gaur. So initially, till the time I witnessed it, it was very difficult to believe that animal which weighs only 300 kilo can kill a big gaur which is up to 1,000 kilo. Wow, 1,000 kg or 800 kg is the weight of a male gaur, and this animal which is not even half of the weight in its size can kill such animal. But yes, it is true. So what I learned in Kanha is, if you ask me, what is the main tool or the I would say to kill, or what is the main arm, or what is the weapon of a tiger which can kill easily such big huge animal? I would say it's not claws, it's not their canines, but it's the element of surprise and perfect identifying the perfect hunting ground. That's the reason why the territory is important for tigers, because the best territory means the best hunting ground. Tiger use the territory, the topography or the geographical area as a perfect hunting ground. They go very close to the animal and then they attack the animal. Now, this particular tiger used to kill gaur only in the nalas, because in the nalas, in the streams, when gaur has literally bow down to drink the water, that is the time when tiger used to jump on them. And this was not for the first time. This was like 3-4 times I had seen this tiger kill the gaur in the same nala. And I really feel myself lucky when I tell you all this, that this was like my daily routine to follow these things. And later on, I became a tour guide. I used to, guide tours for many travel companies. But as a naturalist, I was so lucky to observe this every day and night. See, this now you can see that another gaur, the same tiger had killed another gaur, and this is again in the Nala. Okay, this was the same gore, and you can see on the right hand side the gore where from the gore was drinking the water, and it dragged down from the right side. The grass is completely bent down there, and now it is eating. It's still old. Why this leopard is there? Because the story is with this leopard. This leopard had made a kill somewhere in the area of Salgat, and it was feeding on that kill. Suddenly, this angel boy was passing, la 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 la, and then he realized that, oh, there is something. It smelled that kill, and it enters inside, and he actually chased away this leopard. The leopard went on the tree, and then this male tiger was down below and looking at the tree. So you can see this male tiger, angel boy, is looking at the tree where this leopard was sitting. At the same time, this tiger was in the Salgat area. At the same time, there was another male tiger. We used to call him Banda. Banda means short tail. You can see the tail is very short. He always used to take fight with another male tigers. Banda was very notorious kind of a tiger, and always used to take fight with another big male tigers. He never had his fixed territory as such. Sometimes he used to be in the meadows area. Sometimes he used to be in the Kisli area. Sometimes he used to spend time in the buffer zone also. This time when I clicked this photo, this tiger was in the meadows, and he was literally resting because he had a fight with some other tigers, and you can see the injuries on its leg. Now this is Banda, and you can see literally a short tail, but very, very beautiful tiger. Short, little bit short in height, big face, huge face, very muscular, very aggressive, and short tail. Now you can see that. It was looking so funny when it used to wag the tail like other tigers. You can expect that they can show the moods. So I always used to observe the tails, and they used to sometimes flick the tip of the tail to show their moods. But here you can see the tail is so small, so the moods were not so visible. Okay. Now this used to be my most famous and favorite tiger, like my buddy tiger, Konda. If you go to Kanha, there is a book called Tigers of Kanha where all the tigers were identified and given the numbers. And at the end of that book, you can see this photo of mine. And this was my favorite photo, one of my favorite. I mean, I cannot get such photo again. I was using 200 mm lens, and I still remember what happened. We were on the Mukhi Road area, and this Konda came straight to us, walking straight, literally straight to us. And that time, our car got broken in the middle. On the bridge itself. I mean, my driver couldn't start it, but this tiger was coming straight to us. It didn't stop at all, and it came very, very close, and it stopped there just to check. It's okay. I can wait by the time you start your car. And luckily, the car got started, and then we took the reverse. But the distance it came and stopped was hardly, like I would say, 10 feet, 5 to 10 feet. And it was so close. Well, it was not advisable. This was accidentally happened. I prefer, because I always used to carry the big lenses, so I always used to, even for my visitors, we prefer that if you see from a distance, you can see animal in its natural mood. But if you try to go deliberately close to the animal, they get pressurized, they get noticed by your presence, and they don't behave naturally. So I always prefer to watch animal, to observe the animal from long distance. And when they are comfortable with you, let them come close. You shouldn't go close to them. Let them come to close to you. That's the best way to observe them in their natural way. So this is one of my most favorite photo of this Konda tiger. Konda is the word basically used in the Baiga tribal. That means Siddha. That means straight. That means innocent. Again, the same tiger. And he was literally like a bobcat. And he used to, sleep on the ground and shows the belly. Showing the belly in cats is like fully trusting you. So he's like, hey guys, you'll be here. I am with you and you can trust on me. I'm not going to hunt you, or I'm not going to attack you. You can stay here with me. I'm liking your company. Literally, he used to roll down in front of us. And for hours, I have seen this tiger, not only in the jungle, but I mean, at sometimes when I used to walk for in the Mukhi side, in the Mukhi road, there used to be a nala called Gandhar Nala behind the Tuli Lodge. And at many times, I've seen this beautiful tiger sitting in some puddle or the pond or pool and enjoying him. Again, this is a yawning photo, not the charging photo of the same tiger. You can see the L mark on its right cheek. Same beautiful tiger. You can see how innocent eyes are these. And this is the photo which I've taken outside the park. There was a small pool, literally a very small pot of water, like pot of water. And the tiger used to come there during the summer time and used to soak the belly. The belly is full of, because he killed some deer nearby the lodge. And hardly that time in the summer, the lodges used to be empty. So we, 2, 3 naturalists and 1 or 2 guides, we went there to see, and we could spot him. And then we watched him for a while, and then we came back. So he was very coolly sitting in that small pond. So he used to walk he used to swing. He never used to walk straight. I mean, as if there is a background music going on. So his style was, while walking, he was to completely, move on the rhythm. His walk was like very rhythmic. So that is how when you observe many tigers, you start giving them, you start identifying their every single pattern. Like while walking, as I've said, that this tiger has a rhythmic walk. He used to walk in a rhythm. Okay, there was this notorious tiger appeared somewhere in 2006 and 7 in the Kisli area. He wasn't there for long. He was there hardly for like 2, 3 years, and then this tiger, I don't know what happened to this big tiger, but he was such a huge tiger he was. And there was a rumor, or there was a story, that this male tiger killed the Konda. And then Konda was also not visible after 2008. Konda died somewhere between, and there was, saying that he's the male of the Konda and he killed him, something like that. Young boy, male cub of Konda, and which killed him later. So he used to block the road, completely ferocious, huge tiger. He used to block the path. He used to sit there. And this photo, why this is the angle is like this, I'll tell you the story. When this tiger was sitting in the middle of the road, the jeep was full with the people from the bank. Yeah, there was some seminar was going on with RBI bank or some local bank, and everyone was like, we want to go. So there were 6 people plus guide, plus I was also there. That in those days there was a problem with me as a naturalist going along with 6 people as well. So I was just there because it was boring sitting in the lodge. So I said, well, I'll also come. So when this tiger was spotted, everyone was taking the picture and they blocked my view. And I turned completely on the other side of the jeep and I took this picture. So I didn't rectify this angle because that was the only angle I was getting. And I was happy with, oh, that's a new angle I got. So this was the angle, and I still remember the story that why I could get this angle. Okay, this was again a beautiful tiger from the Meadows area. Male tiger. I won't talk much about this because now I think I'm already crossed my time. So I'll just show you. This is a new tiger. This used to be called as Kingfisher male, and this I clicked recently. In somewhere in 2017 I clicked this photo in Mukhi area. This was again a male tiger called red-eyed tiger. I think today in our seminar, one of my friends from Germany, Mr. Thomas Gehlen, is also here. And I remember he was there during this sighting. We were at route number 9, and we were driving in route number 9 and looking for some tiger. And it walked towards us, and Mr. Gehlen and his wife was with me. And we had a fantastic sighting of this tiger for almost like 30-40 minutes. It walked towards us for a long time. So I believe that there is someone in this seminar right now who has also witnessed this sighting. And you can see the color of the eyes. It has some reddish color of the eyes. So this was known as red-eyed tiger. And the famous tiger of Kanha, the current famous tiger who recently passed away, is Munna, also known as the cat tiger, the head of the cat. Because if you see clearly his forehead, it's written like CAT, cat, on its forehead, and on the left hand side and the right hand side, P and M. So I used to call him, he's the prime minister of all cats and tigers of India. So PM cat. And this is my last photo of today's presentation. Further, we can discuss chat. Okay, this is again Munna. This was my last photo of Munna in somewhere 2017 or 18. I exactly don't remember the date, but this was the time when Munna was looking in the sky because it started drizzling and he was enjoying the raindrops, and he was sleeping in the grass, and we were also waiting to move to see when it wake up, but it didn't wake up, and it just pushed his face up, lifted his face up in the sky, and he was literally enjoying those small drops of rain, and as if he is taking the blessings for the Kanha, glory of the Kanha, or something like that. And this is the last photo of my small presentation. Thank you.
That was absolutely brilliant presentation, Raghunandan. It was an eye-opener, and I think it's very important for you to take people through your own journey of experiences, because for people to appreciate conservation, for people to appreciate nature, they need to experience the the glamour. And if you don't relate the jungle stories, and if you just talk about the numbers and the conservation, people want to see the positive side. They want to see the love of, the jungle, the sights, the sounds, the smells that you talked about. So it was very well articulated, very well put together presentation. The time is never enough. So
exactly.
It's more like a teaser, actually. When you talk about things like that, so you get goosebumps, and then the first urge is to get into the car and drive out into into these sort of surroundings. So I think each and every point that you brought out in terms of birds and butterflies and the way each tiger behaved, or how their interaction was with the leopard, or how he stood in the sun, that angel boy and morning sun. I think all these things put together, the art of storytelling, and which is why they say the best stories are told in the jungles over bonfires, and that's how Mowgli happened. That's how the Jungle Book and various other stories. So thank you very much for bringing all this forward and sharing it with the audience. And I think we'd like to do more of these with you as we go along for different places. And I know that we've gone past 40 minutes past our closing time, and a lot of people have left, but a lot of people are still there. And those people who have left will still have the chance to see the remaining parts which they've missed, because we'll send a replay link to all of them. And so there are some people. So friends, if you've got any questions, we can take one or two questions, and that's about all. And if you don't have any questions, we'll say Shabbat Khair to you. So any questions, friends? Okay, so I think we don't have any questions, Raghunandan, and I'm absolutely, this is a jaw-dropping presentation, and I'm really.
Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, and this opportunity actually brought the kind of a situation where now I want to go back to Kanha again, because while saying everything, I was visualizing all these parts.
Yes, it's also my journey, Raghunandan, to bring these opportunities to people, to have collective effort, because then this goes far and wide, and it promotes the cause of conservation, and that's what we live for. Why we are here on this planet, we don't know, but while we are here, we may as well do something which will mean something to people.
Right.
So thank you for being here. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Good night, Shabak Khair. Love you all. Bye.